Hello everyone, my name is Grayson and welcome back to episode 2 of this Let's Play of Rogue Lords. This is the game where we're using the Disciples of the Devil, legendary creatures like the Headless Horseman and Dracula, to conquer the mortal realm essentially. We're trying to take out the vampire hunters, the demon hunters, like those kind of like Van Helsing characters, as well as stop the Sanctua Lumen, which is the Church of the Light, which has started training people in magic and combat techniques against demons and devils and all kinds of vampires and stuff like that. So our goal is to just sort of be evil, essentially.
Move, get going, do something. I have a reign of terror to install.
Yes, sir. Yes, the devil. So we have a combat here to do. This is an extra activity that sometimes spawn in the nodes. So we're going to go ahead and do this combat just to get some extra stuff. So we could do a frontal attack to start generating more terror, get our terror level up. We could try to get skills, or we could get some currency. Now, we don't have a shop coming up for a long time, so I'm not going to worry about the currency. Maybe we'll find some through other things. Let's do a little bit of terror.
Bow before your queen.
Okay, so we have some mediums and an exorcist. So this looks like the exorcist is kind of like a better medium. Although I guess not. She has higher health but lower spirit. So they all have defensive buffs on. It looks like these two have shielding on. Aegis, reduce the HP loss by 6. And this one has mental barrier for SP. So right now we've got an attack coming through here, and an attack coming through here for spirit. So this is definitely a situation where we're going to want to use this provocation to get some taunt. There we go. So he's taking all the damage, but because he's reducing it by, I think it's 4, yeah, by each instance. So this is only 1 times 2, 0 times 2, and 3 times 2. So yes, that's 6, 7, 8. So that's where we're getting the 8 points from. So we really don't have to worry about this now. This is a perfectly fine amount of damage to take. So now we can just kind of focus on doing some damage. Now, we gave up the White Lady's mask to get upgraded by the Grim Reaper, so we'll have to wait until we find him again to get that back. What else can we do? We can put Exhaustion, reduces by half all damage inflicted. Now, this is not necessary right now because he's taunting and taking so little damage that I'm not worried about it. So we'll save this one for when we really need it. You know, perhaps his is on cooldown and we don't want to spend the action points to refresh things. So let's see, we have another exhaustion skill, and then here we just have some basic dread. So let's head on over to somebody else. Now we want to do spirit to these two and health to this one, at least until their buff is gone.
What game are we playing?
Let's see, damage. This can only target this one because she has the lowest health, but this won't do any damage because of that barrier. We can do 7 to 10. Again, we can only target this one. So Bloody Mary is not very helpful for us this round. Except by, you know, possibly by using this just to reduce some of that damage a little bit.
I have to get my hands
We also have some
dirty again.
slashing. We could do that over here. Put a bleed on her. It's probably a good use. And with only 1 point left, yeah, I'm thinking we do... Maybe we'll do this mirror after all, just to take like as little damage as possible. May as well. Okay, he's getting silenced. Burned. He's got all sorts of statuses on him here. Now she is pretty weak right now. 4 health, we could take her out. Now, what is silence? Cannot inflict a status, and burn is each time they suffer damage, they also lose 2 spirit points. So looks like right now we've got a little bit of damage coming in.
I have to get my hands
So what we might do here is possession, does some spirit damage and applies exhaustion. So that'll lower her DPS to 4, or her DPR, I guess. Now this one's pretty weak, so we could do... This one does 3 to 5 damage twice, so as long as we don't roll 3 damage on the first one, we should kill this character off. Okay, good, we did not. Wait, what? It didn't do it. It must have not shown the numbers in the right order. Oh no, it was a 3 and then, yeah, okay, that's unfortunate. So we didn't get her. Do we have a way to finish her off? We do not. We don't have a way to finish her off right now, unfortunately. So we'll have to get her next turn. And then we'll just do this little bit of dread here. We've got Aegis. Presence of mind. So she is vulnerable now. She's going to do a lot of damage in an AoE, but we're going to make sure she doesn't get to do that. So let's go ahead and put this cursed mirror on this medium here. This is going to duplicate the effects of anything we play. So now what we're going to do is we're going to use the mirror blade to do damage twice to this character. We can only target her because she has the lowest health, but it's going to duplicate it onto this character, which is super cool. And in fact, if we did it this other way around, if we did this to this character... no, this costs 2 points. Yeah, so we have to do this. So then that pops out of that mirror. You saw it did 4 and 4 damage, which is super cool. So we have 1 point left. We could recharge our skills and get a bitterness point. Oh, we actually have full bitterness, so we could actually just take this person down to 0. There we go, so we can finish her off next turn. Zombie is a dot, if I remember correctly. Oh no, I'm sorry. This makes healing turn into damage. Transforms received healing into damage. Okay, that's not really a big issue for us now. That's a lot of damage coming through. So let's kill this character off. First, we got to recharge this. We absolutely have to get the taunt. Oh, that was blocked by silence, unfortunately. So what we need to do here, I should have taken that silence off and then used that, but I didn't pay attention to the fact that he still had it. So what can we do here? 39 is enough to knock her out, so all we have to do is kill this character. And now she's going to take 21, which is a lot, but as long as she doesn't go down to nothing, it doesn't really matter. Because as long as we win the fight, everybody comes back to full everything. Alright, so she's going to cast some kind of buff. So it looks like she's currently in a state of no defenses. So let's try to focus on her health if we can. Do a slash. Get bleeding on there. And then let's recharge, put the mirror.
Who shall die tonight?
We only have 1 point left.
I have to get my hands dirty again.
Nothing available here. So let's just recharge the white lady's skills.
I'm bathed in.
What kind of crap is she putting on herself here? We've got Aegis, reduce HP loss, and mirror effect each time. Oh no, we did that. No, that's Bloody Mary's mirror. The mirror effect is each time the holder receives a status, it's also applied to the combatant who applied it. She's only dealing 6 damage, spirit damage, so we don't really have to worry about her. So all we have to do is just do some damage to her and not really worry about, I don't really want to give her statuses. So we gotta be careful here, because if we give her a status like exhaustion, we actually get it on ourselves. So let's do Dread. And then let's do this, and we'll get our own exhaustion, but it won't matter, because we're going to stop using her. Why did that damage me? Wait. Each time the holder receives a status, it's also applied to the combatant who applied it. That's odd. Why did I take damage? I can't stop this now, so we're going to have to cheat in order to save our character here, because we can't... This 6 health here is gonna, the 6 block is gonna stop us. We could reduce the impending attack by 2. Oh, you know what? Bloody Mary's mirror is on. So that'll reduce. What? It didn't reduce it to 0. It reduced it. What is happening? Base damage is reduced by 4, but it didn't go down. Oh, because she has exhaustion, so it's rounding up to 1. So after all that, we still have to cheat.
Done right. Do it yourself.
So we're just gonna cheat, and we can't knock her out though, unfortunately, because this can only set her to vulnerable. So what we're gonna have to do is set her to not on vulnerability.
My power
There we go.
is absolute.
Very unfortunate turn for me. Okay, I'm making a lot of mistakes, I realize. It's hard. It's like, you know, like I said in the previous video, there's kind of a lot of stuff going on. And you can obviously figure it all out. I mean, everything's really clear, little tooltips, but there are so many statuses and stuff. And sometimes I just kind of struggle to put it together in my head what's going on. So now all we have to do is enough spirit to kill her, but she still has this silly mirror thing, which is really quite frustrating. So let's taunt. Okay, let's get that over here. Thank you. And then we're going to try to... Now, we don't want to put a status on her because we get it back on ourselves.
What game are we playing?
So let's do this. And then we have 1 point left.
Dirty again.
Everything is depleted, though.
I'm big.
All right, now her statuses have worn off, so now she's easy pickings for the mirror blade.
Those who do not submit must die.
The devil cheating mechanic,
Influence is growing.
very cool, because you saw how I made like a handful of mistakes during that battle, but I only had to spend that resource one time. I only had to spend like 4 or 5 devil diabolic essence in order to save myself there. So there is a little bit of room for mistakes, at least in the early fights, because you can cheat, make it all better. Later on, the fights are going to be very brutal, and I will not be able to survive without playing pretty perfectly, which is unfortunate. So now we've added some random effects to the next zones. So those are going to go up to way up here. Interesting. Okay, now we are down here at the Styx fountain. So do I want to go to an altar and sacrifice to get a new skill, or do I want to go to another combat? I don't feel like I'm like flush with skills. I don't really want to sacrifice one. So let's go to this next combat and let's pick up a skill in here. Number of pyres along the road. It looks as if those who practice witchcraft were persecuted relentlessly in the region. So that's a negative thing. So humanity is rising against us. So there's going to be a node with -5 to -20 on the value of proposed gain in essence. Okay. And double the diabolic essence cost of the devil's powers. That's very dangerous. And those are way up here. So we probably avoid these unless I'm desperate for sticks. Oh, you know what, though? Double the diabolic essence of devil powers, but this is just a Styx fountain where I recuperate. Same here. So these negatives are in a great place for us because they don't really matter. Unless there's some kind of secret extra event that's a combat, but I would probably just avoid it if I was in a node with this negative. So let's walk on up here.
Keep crowding together, humans. You're making my job easier.
So we've got a little battle in a town here. I think I'd like to get a skill. It's good. We're going to be 2 waves of enemies, which is it's more fun. All right.
You called me 3 times.
Oh, I love when she says that. That's so funny. The Bloody Mary summoning ritual. He's going to attack 2 times 4 damage. There's not really a lot we can do about this. It is an AoE. The best we can do here is actually reduce it by 2, which is pretty good value. 4 damage on each person. That's okay. We can handle that. So what else do we want to do here? We probably want to give out some bleeding. So that'll make him take some damage when he takes his next action. This is all spirit damage here, so I'm not worried about that. We can also reduce his damage by half, but I think I'll save it for the next wave. So let's just get this big damage hit off here. All right. Oh, again, because he attacked so many different times, he bled out really super fast from that. God, that's so powerful. So what do we have here? We have damage coming in here. Now, this person's targeting with a weaken, some sort of weakening effect. I wonder if I can taunt that off or only damage. Only the holder of this status can be targeted by adversaries. That may, in fact, taunt off that negative. Let's test that out. Aha! It does. So now he's going to get the target, which is fine with me. And she is going to attack him for not very much damage. So this one has lower health, this one has lower SP, but they come in protected against those, which is actually kind of cool that they know how to do that to protect themselves. So we could devil mode cheat this out or something like that if we really wanted to. We may go ahead and do that just because it's fun. Let's put this on the horseman. Approve. So now he's going to take less spiritual damage and take no damage. And now she is... Wait, did I accidentally give her shell? Oh, yeah, I had to swap the two. I see, because they're both protections. So I can't just take it, I have to swap them. I see. I haven't actually had that happen yet. Okay, so we'll still avoid her for a second. So in the meantime, let's get some dread on this character. And then a little bit more here. Right, and then next turn, if they're going to do some attacking, we could apply this exhaustion to both of them. Now, this is a big hit coming in, so this would be a great opportunity to throw this out. So that's way less. 9 is perfectly acceptable. Now, she's down to 4 points, but we're out of skills here, so... What we need to do, we could.
Who should I kill?
We've got damage coming in that's going to charge his bitterness up, so we'll probably let him take that damage. So maybe the best thing we can do here is recharge. We could do this again. 4 to 6 means that it will put this character at a vulnerable state. I wonder if the vulnerability will stack to another turn. I think it will. The exhaustion. Yes, it does. Perfect. So this character will do half damage for 2 rounds now. Okay, so they just made the mistake of really hammering this guy until he got his bitterness up. So we could use him. This person has protection with this mental barrier. So we could steal this, but they're not really doing anything that requires me to be spending Diabolic Essence. So I might just steal from this character. That'll kill her because it does spirit damage and she was vulnerable. And then this character is buffing, so we're looking at doing physical damage at this point. So let's do this. And then let's Cursed Mirror her and get our skills back on Bloody Mary. And then next turn we'll just hit her with this, and that should do it. Because it'll double those skills. Okay, she gave herself regeneration. Okay, interesting. Now that's big damage, so let's see. Taunt is 2 points. So if we did 7 to 12 health times 2, that's a minimum of 14, which would leave her at 10. And then if we did this one, a minimum of 6, which wouldn't kill her, and it would use most of our points. If she does 22, it will not kill her because it will only put her to vulnerable. So we can actually take a gamble on this, and we are under no threat. So let's go ahead and do it. Let's start with this one. Okay, perfect. So we got a pretty... Oh, we got 12 twice, actually. Really good roll. So now this should finish her off.
Crawl, mortals. From now on, you belong to me. Take everything you can.
Very cool. So that's a great game, isn't it? Every battle plays like a little bit of a puzzle, and it's more forgiving towards the beginning, and then towards the end it gets pretty brutal. You know, your action economy is so important to spend those points wisely, and anytime you can find an ability that gives you extra action points, you need to seriously consider it because it's just so important. I had a really cool artifact in my last run that was... I had +1 action points, so I had 6 instead of 5, but I could only recharge character skills using their recharge mechanic on even-numbered turns. So it was really fun, though. It was actually almost entirely a positive because when you have more points to spend, you don't need to recharge as often because you can just play all those 2-cost things all the time anyway. So here we have Poltergeist, deal 3 times 4 to 6 SP, so this is a great finisher. This is pretty tempting, although it does cost 3 points until it's upgraded. When it's upgraded, it only costs 2, and then it's really good, actually. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Steel 4 to 6 HP. Steel 4 to 6 SP. That's also a pretty good finisher. And secret boot. What? Inflicts 6 to 10 HP or 6 to 10 SP, depending on where the adversary is weakest. Okay, I like all of these. These are all finishers, actually. I'm tempted to do this one because her health is so crappy that this is a finisher and lets her kind of heal herself up. It's not very much, but it's a swing. It's whatever I damage them, I take that much back. So I think I'm tempted to do this one. Her health total is not high, but I think it's between these two. This second, the evolution of this one, doing 6 to 8 3 times and costing 2 AP. I mean, that's going to take somebody from relatively high SP all the way down to 0 or dead. It's really quite strong, but it definitely needs an upgrade. I think this is not good at this level. This one, I think, is actually not worth upgrading because her max health is never going to be very high. So it's kind of interesting. Let's go with this one because it's versatile. So let's go ahead and slap that skill. Oh, how about at the end here? Okay. Let's take a look at our map. We have a story chapter to go to next. All right, so we're in Madleaf.
My disciples enter Pere. They approach the main square, from where they can hear loud voices. Residents are shouting a name, hope etched on their faces. Caleb, Caleb. The Sanctua Lumen is there, and among them a man holding the claw of Geryon in his bare hand. He raises the claw, and the townsfolk go silent. With a sweeping movement, he brings the artifact down upon his arm. No blood flows from the deep gash. A respectful murmur is heard. The wound closes. He speaks. Serve the Sanctua Lumen, and you will be rewarded. I immediately understand the true nature of this Caleb. He is an imitation human. I revealed to my disciples the existence of a puppeteer specialized in automaton who once made a pact with me. They will find him in the town of Capellion.
So we need to find this character in the town of Capellion. Interesting. So,
Screams of terror. Such sweet music to my ears.
so our influence is growing. We have the following effects are headed to the next set of nodes, which are all sacrificial altars, which is interesting. If you sacrifice a skill, you'll get 2 new slots instead of 1. After sacrificing a skill, you'll discover another with a higher rarity than the one sacrificed. That's tempting. After sacrificing a skill, you'll discover another with a higher rarity. Okay, so we've got these 2 are the same, and then there's a new one here to unlock more slots. What I'm thinking I need right now is higher quality skills rather than more skills. I think I need both, but if I had to choose between, like, two unlocked slots doesn't do me much good when I don't have any more skills. So I really want to get something for the Headless Horseman, but I don't have anything I want to get rid of. These are kind of core to his. I mean, I guess I could sacrifice his slash, but then I can't find them anymore once you've sacrificed. Let's run around as the White Lady for a little bit, because it looks like a floating cauliflower. What do we want to sacrifice here? We've got Possession and Deterioration do kind of the same thing, but one is better on a single target. Headless Horseman. Now, this is a great finisher, especially with her mirror, because it makes it do it 4 times. It's really easy to kill off somebody vulnerable. I don't really have anything I want to sacrifice here, so it might be something like Possession or something. This is a big, large amount of damage though on a single target, so I don't know. Let me see. Let me see which node we want to go to. I'm thinking we head to... Well, there's the Grim Reaper, though. We want to get our skill back, but I also want to do combats because I need skill. So we might go here, sacrifice. I'm thinking the slash from the Headless Horseman. Open up an additional skill slot and get a higher rarity than the one sacrifice. So let's go there. We'll go do an event, and then we'll head to probably this combat. I don't think I'm super desperate for these points right now, and then go to the Grim Reaper, and then we'll have an elite combat. So we won't have much money, but we can get our mask skill back for the White Lady, which is probably going to be important. At some point, we're going to need to get her mask back, since that's like what her whole thing is. So let's head on up to this middle one here. Right here. Maybe we'll even find some extras in one of these. Not here. There's a little Stonehenge. Actually, love how that looks. Okay, so let's launch. At your disciples' approach, a pile of rocks seems to come alive. A set of glyphs written in blood form a symbol that your servants recognize easily, that of a sacrificial altar. And we can get more information. Your disciples can sacrifice a skill on this altar to strengthen their connection to your realm and gain an extra skill slot. Let's click on the altar. Your disciples are pulled toward the sacrificial altar, which reacts to their approach.
When I give, I get.
So let's take the horseman, and let's just dump his slash. I'd rather him have it, but I need something to sacrifice, and I kind of like the idea of all of these things. So we can make Bloody Mary our physical damage, the White Lady our spiritual damage, and the Headless Horseman can be our tank and whatever else he gets. So let's do it. Confirm. So slash is gone. We get a new slot. And the terror your disciple provokes in the region amplifies the altar's power, and it, in turn, restores some of the power it received during the sacrifice.
Take everything you can.
Okay, so we have Faint. Now, this is inflict... Oh, there's only 1 point for this one. That's why it's low. 4 to 8 or 4 to 8 HP or SP, depending on where they're the weakest. Thrust, inflict 12 to 16 HP, remove an enhancement, add 1 charge to the horseman's statuses. Oh. Secret Boot, which is a lot. So this is a lot more. It's not... it's almost double. Actually, I think this is straight better, because the minimum is so much higher than twice of this. So it's probably between these two. I like this one. Removing an enhancement, and possibly if he's got multiple turns of his provocation up, this will be really powerful. So hopefully this may amplify his negatives as well. But one of the cool things I'm thinking is that if I have a negative and I use this and it gives another charge to that, I could just use my Diabolic Essence to give that debuff to somebody else, which is kind of funny. So let's go with the Thrust. That's actually kind of straight better than that Slash. Other than the fact that we don't get the bleed anymore, which certainly had its uses. So Headless Horseman, we now have this cool thrust attack, which is more powerful. Okay, so next up, we want to go to this event on the left. This is going to... The Chosen Disciple will earn a second random trait when the event is over. Hopefully a positive one. All right, so we got
fields. I'd love to see them burn.
So we've got a hovel here, just a little farmhouse in the middle of nowhere. So we're going to go ahead and... waiting at the Grim Reaper is cool. We're going to go ahead and call this episode here to an end because we are just about out of time, so I'll start this one on the next one. So thank you everybody so much for watching. I hope you're enjoying this game. It certainly has some unique mechanics that other roguelite games do not have, and I really, really appreciate that. And a lot of the graphical style of this game is quite charming in sort of like a dark way. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with this game so far, and I hope that you'll check it out as well. So if you haven't liked or subscribed, please consider doing that. I would really appreciate it, and I will see everybody in the next episode.